Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, baby mums and baby dads all over the world, NBA fans, basketball fans, hecklers, you get thrown out. Welcome to another episode of Take It to Rim podcast with myself, Rods, aka Never Capping Like a Rebel in Lowercase, aka, hey, I didn't flop that doc today. AKA, hey, I should get credit for the Harden trade. AKA Austin Reeves? Austin Rivers. Defending your daddy. You bitch.
You're even mad.
Nah, I can't lie. What he was doing, I don't like it. I don't like his trim as well, man. Prick. Alright.
What's wrong with his trim?
I'm just annoyed. You know, it's not wrong what he did, but it was wrong how he said it.
Okay.
I'm here today. I got LA Juls in the building.
Yeah.
And Clipper Cam.
What's good?
So, I don't know how you guys' weekend was, but there was an All Star game on last weekend. And so the whole NBA All Star weekend, just real quick, in total out of 10, what were you guys rating? Just quick numbers.
4.
3.
3. Hey, 3 as well. That's a good formation. But it was the only good thing with it was like, I guess the only good thing was the 3-point contest. Obviously, you had like the Rising Stars, which was, and all of that, which was alright, cool. That was okay. Dunk contest was trash. Jalen Buckwheat Brown, I don't know what he was doing.
Oh,
because he did a dunk where he dunked the ball and then he dabbed. I know he was meant to cover his eyes.
It looked so bad.
That must have been
so
mad
bad.
embarrassing as well because, like Shannon Sharp said it, he dunked over Kai Cenat, who's like short anyway,
And he was sitting down.
and he was sitting. I was just like, what's the
point?
What's the point? And he the worst thing is I'm not saying he mad hyped himself up, but hyped up what he was going to do. But he specifically said, I'm going to like pay homage to some older dunks and do a little remix on them. And I don't think he did any of them better than the originals.
No way.
And these remixes were, featuring unknown artists. Like it's not like you had a J. Cole or a Drake or a Kendrick feature. You had a
XX Supernova from SoundCloud.
You had a Takeshi 6ix9ine feature or something like that. Like it just didn't bang like that.
Yeah, so like the dunk contest was just, obviously McClung done what he did and it was alright, cool.
Even that was boring though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, dunk contest
it's dry.
Value has just lost its value.
It's dry.
The 3-point contest is always interesting, kind of. Like it's always
It's a lot more
one of
interesting
the
than
better
dunk
events.
contest.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when players get hot.
The Sabrina Steph thing.
Sabrina and
as
Steph
I think
as
that
well.
was the highlight.
That was the highlight. Sabrina Steph. So she shot well, man. She shot well.
She had the same number as the winning record in the 3-point shot itself.
Yeah.
So
which is a brazy thing. So yeah, man. But the main thing, obviously, Doc Rivers finally got a win. But the All Star game, hashtag All Star game, was terrible.
yeah,
Like, it just was. The only thing about it was Damian Lillard making 2 half-court shots all net. Like
that was nuts. That was nuts. Yeah.
all net, effortless, and it was like, okay, cool. Besides that, it was so bad. And obviously, a lot of players were asked about how can the competitiveness of the All-Star game, and apparently, who was it? What's his name? Was it Larry Bird? Charles Oakley as well. Like, so a lot of them went into the locker rooms to give a speech to say, "Yo, this game needs to be competitive," and blah blah blah. And then you get that. It was really bad, and it's like after was it the All Star 2020?
Yeah.
That All Star where it was actually competitive, like really competitive. That was like the last competitive All Star game that we had.
It was a competitive quarter. I remember that one was
Like
the whole
the last quarter.
No,
yeah,
there was one where Dame hit a game winner to win the whole game. Like it was really No, there's been a few.
Oh, 2022, I think that was 2022.
There's been a few. Actually. Dame's hit a game winner where it was like a 2-point game. There was another one where I remember LeBron and KD double teamed Steph in the corner, scoring.
And then when Anthony Davis the free throws.
But yeah, like it's just. I think you're 100% right that the competitiveness of the game is just completely gone. The East versus West seems to have brought that around more than when they were doing the drafting. But I don't know. A lot about it needs to change. Like I think the format needs to change. The whole weekend is just pretty shit, to be honest. Like I'm sure the players would appreciate more of a rest. I don't really know how to necessarily do it per se, but.
It's tough though because even like a lot of people also, especially Anthony was like, everyone's kind of seen it as a break, and obviously they care about more their team now. They want no injuries, no nothing, because now obviously it's not like injuries really happen in the All Star.
But let's say they did though.
But because it can still be competitive, but you don't obviously move mad in it. But the thing is, it's like if now let's say go competitive, and then 2, 3, 4 players got hurt, slip down the standings, and so. Then it's gonna be like, oh, why did they go so hard in the All-Star game?
I have like a couple of ideas of how they can change it. One,
I had one as well.
I think if they move All-Star weekend to the end of the season, I think one of the main reasons why players don't play hard
after the finals.
Yeah,
okay,
I think one of the main reasons that players don't play hard during All-Stars because they're worried about getting hurt. If it's the off season, I think they'll be a bit more likely to play a bit better. They could even use it as almost like a scrimmage. I don't know, or maybe do it at the start. Like I just think that the timing of it needs to move because a lot of players use it as a time to, like, yes, it's All-Star weekend, but then after that, they're using the next couple of days to like rest, recover, and get back to it, so they're ready for the start of the second half of the season.
Yeah.
So I still think you should give them that time off, like take a break, but I just think. Like the game itself, and you can even do the 3-point shootout, you can do the dunk contests and stuff like that. But the game itself, there's just no real point to it. I think the better idea I had was changing the format to an under 30s versus over 30s game. And I think the reason that would kind of work a bit better is because you'll have players like Anthony Edwards, like Jayson Tatum, who are looking at guys like LeBron and Steph and being like, I want to be that. Like I want to be the next. The next guy in the league that people look at and say, yeah, that guy's the greatest player in the league. And I think if that's the kind of mentality that they go into it thinking about, they'll be way more on killing. Also, like the older guys are kind of the ones that are kind of ruining it a little bit as well. Like LeBron was absolutely arse in All-Star game.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that again. Like it's very evident you've played 20 of these because this was definitely by far your worst. Like we get the dunks and whatnot, but. He was throwing up bullshit, man. I saw him do like a baseline spin fade, and I was like, "There's no chance this shot's going in, like whatsoever." He's about to. He's maybe 40 this year. Like let him rest, you know. But like, so just let me give it an instance. So let's say next year they take on the over 30s versus the under 30s. Over 30s team: LeBron, Steph, KD, Dame, AD, Kawhi, PG, Jokic, Giannis, Embiid. There's over 30 guys that didn't make it. So. You can now put guys like Clay in there if you really wanted to. James Harden can play. But then look at the under 30s team. Luka, Shea, Halliburton, Booker, and Trae Young, Maxey, Brunson, Tatum, Brown, Donovan Mitchell, Bam, Paolo, Cat, and Scotty Barnes. And that's just based off of the guys who made it this year.
Yeah.
So I think if they maybe take that approach, I think they can't do the same thing every year. It has to change every year. So they need to get a bit more creative with it. And I think it's the same. You know how you were talking about the 3-point shootout with Sabrina versus Steph and how next year they're going to build on top of that? I think everything from now on, you need to start building them because people are just bored of seeing the same thing. And I think there was a period of time where, because it was competitive, like it was okay seeing the same thing, but now we're at a point where people are actively not trying anymore.
Yeah, because I even was, I think we said this before as well, but when I was reading, I was even like, we might as well make it 2 half-court games. Literally have 4 or 6.
That actually, half-court alone might just make it better, to be honest.
Yeah, because if you had like, let's say, maybe, I don't know, because how many players are getting drafted for the, 12 each time?
12 in the East, 12 in the West. Yeah.
Yeah, so then obviously we can do 4 teams of 3 in the East, 4 teams of 3 in the West that way, or even if there's
very true actually.
Yeah, even if there was like 8 different captains, whatever, or like spread across, or they could have done it that way. For example, if they wanted to do it East and West, or if they wanted to keep that formula, or if they wanted to mix it, whatever. Literally have captains, boom, they pick up their teams. Now, obviously, on one side, because it'll be obviously how they'll do it. Will be obviously 2 teams from East play first, 2 teams from the West play, boom. Then obviously they'll all kind of play each other in it, and we can games to 11 or 21. I say obviously these guys are every professional player, so 21 shouldn't be that long to get to, or 15 or whatever. So just doing that, and then obviously for, let's say they keep it East-wise, and then let's say the top 2 face again the top 2 in the West, and they play each other now, boom, boom, and then obviously whoever is finals can go kind of. I'm thinking doing half court like that just kind of makes it up like that, because then half court obviously will make it easier. It'll make it more fun. Obviously, there's different games going on. If they want to show one game at a time, then fair enough, because obviously also you want to see everything. So you could do one game at a time if you wanted to, or can do 2 games simultaneously going on, which is fine as well, and just get kind of like a wider shot where you're seeing different games, where you can split the screens. Just doing something like that just to mix it up, make it different, because at the end of the day, if it's now half court, 3-on-3 now, you don't want to just be looking getting fried. Like obviously, even if you're kind of not trying, you're gonna end up trying, because it's a half court game. And let's say now, okay, I'm not defending. You're not. Let's say for example, I don't know, Anthony Davis ain't really defending Tatum like that, for example. And Tatum just keeps lining him up. Bro, you're thinking, rah, what's going on? Then you're going to be like, no, you know what? I'm going to actually stop you, because I can't go out like this.
It's a lot harder to not get back on defense when it's half court as well.
Exactly. So it's like you can still play some sort of, there can still be some sort of competitiveness inside it. And most players are going to have shame where it's like, no, it's not going to happen. And obviously the one thing that we've been saying for time, which I don't know if they ever will do. I think with the older guys going out, I think with the young guys have a better chance to bring in obviously the ones, because I feel like with the younger guys, they're more on it. Like they don't mind going at each other one-on-one on a stage, whereas the older guys is like they've done it obviously behind the scenes, behind closed doors, everything, and all we can do is just hear rumors and such. But these younger guys, I think they're more likely to, like, what you think right now, like for example, everything that's been brewing, it's not like nothing, no beef has been brewing, but with the small shots that Shea and Anthony Edwards have been giving each other and all the comparisons, like on a one-on-one stage, like, not saying it's going to be a beef thing, but it's going to be competitive. The same way if it was with whatever, Luka and Booker, and you can kind of build on these things with the ones, and then it will just get better. Like, but I don't know if they're ever going to bring that or not, but that would be good in. Obviously, if whether it's unlimited dribbles, shot clock, or free dribble limit, or whatever, but they should actually look into get these things and put it in from, like, at least in the near future with the younger guys, as obviously these older guys are kind of going far and far away.
Yeah,
so I saw 2 scenarios. One was quite similar to what you were just saying, Rodney, but one of them was a 6-player, so 4 6-player tournament essentially, so instead of 5, 6. So North versus South versus East versus West. So then it's similar thing where probably played on a full court. So North versus South, East versus West, for example. And yeah, first round is to advance to the actual All Star game, and then like the winner gets like 200k. There's proceeds that go to charity, and obviously like it's a different format because obviously we're used to 5 players on the court. We're now having 6. It's just different. And then yeah, it's just about the highest score wins, and I think there's a bit of pride, like who's the best division. I mean, within the conference. And then another one that I saw was quite interesting was a 3v3 tournament. So obviously there's 24 All-Stars, 8 teams of 3. Obviously this will be played half court. So then each team will have a centre, guard and a forward. For example, Jokic, Curry, LeBron. And then it's just 3-on-3. 8 teams.
Well,
boom, boom, boom. Half court only. And then it keeps it going. And then it's like obviously the winner stays on. So that and the ones, I think they have to implement that. I think it's got to the stage where I felt like the All-Star game used to be carried a bit over the last few years by like good slam dunk contests. Like the stars still show up for the 3-point contest, but there's been really good slam dunk contests over the last few years. if you're looking at the Zach Levine and Gordon, the Gordon one the following year, even one last year wasn't actually bad, it was pretty decent. But I feel like, yeah, the All-Star game, I mean, Adam Silver got it wrong. We praise him for when he gets it right, when like, he adds the in-season tournament. I think he got this one wrong, changing it from the format it was in terms of like the proceeds going to charity every quarter and having that final proceed that goes to charity. I think he kind of got it wrong. I know they're playing for charities, but it was one each. And I felt like the format last year worked, well, last few years worked better. But yeah, they need to just get away from the 5v5, I think. If it's threes, if it's sixes, just switch it up. I quite like the half court 3-on-3.
What?
Yeah, I think that's just like street ball kind of, innit? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's that element of what they used to play. Like, all the players played that growing up. So.
As a fan, you always want to see points, but when like the score is 200 and something to 180, like that's bullshit. that's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
And that's how players stop caring about scoring at that point because it's already a ridiculous score. Like it needs to. Yeah, I agree. It needs to change.
Yeah, it definitely does, man. Like, bro, there's just no competitiveness, and you know, it's just kind of boring, and it's been boring. It's like it's for too long now, and it's hard for the NBA to bring back competitiveness with just the normal fives at the moment. It depends. I think maybe later on, depending on how these other younger guys who are going to be kind of be next up, whatever, if they decide to actually flip the switch and make it more competitive, then yeah. But then this is why the thing, one underlying thing as well, why All Star also lost his competitive edge as well, is because everybody's friends now. There's no beef. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, if let's say, like for example, with the East and the West, a majority of them were beefing people in the West. I'm not saying like probably, but there was like rivalries on the court. They're gonna move a bit mad. You know what I mean? If they're guarding each other, like for example, when James Harden and Giannis were doing that, whatever beef, whatever, and stuff like that, and then if they get into it, for example, for the All Star and everything, and he's like, okay, I got Giannis, let me cross them up, boom, then Giannis is gonna come back. Like then, when there's more rivalries, it's more competitive. So obviously, with the East with West, like with the Giannis and Halliburton thing, wasn't really gonna be something. But if that grew in something, and All Star they went at it, it would have been different. So I think that overall is why it won't be competitive, because everyone's friends, everyone wants to rest, everyone wants to chill, and injury concerns. I don't know what Adam Silver's going to do, but there's a lot of ideas that have been floating around there, and he needs to take it into account. Otherwise, the All-Star, because I was like, I really didn't bother. You much of it, like, I just, okay, 3-point, and with Stephen Sabrina, I was like, okay, cool. Didn't bother with the dunk contest. I saw some things, even like Obi Toppin's brother had like a very actually decent dunk, and the arena was quiet. It came in 47. And I'm like, that was a good dunk though. Like, it was actually a very good dunk. So I was like, from there, I said, yeah, I'm out, man. I'm gonna head out. Like,
from when the fans don't care, that's when you should be more concerned. Like, it's one thing for the players complaining about it. When the fans are like disengaged and, like you said, not really reacting to the shit that's happening, you're like, okay, yeah, we need to.
Very, very quickly before we move on, there was two fixes I didn't like that people have mentioned, and obviously the one that's been mentioned the most is the winner gets the All-Star game. Sorry, winner gets the home court advantage in the NBA Finals.
Oh yeah, so like the conference. Yeah.
So fixes.
So that's a fix to the actual All-Star game.
That got suggested.
Yeah, so a lot of people have been suggesting that online because it was done in baseball, and they eventually took it away, and it obviously their All-Star game eventually gave whatever it was. Yeah, similar thing that's been proposed, but I don't like that because, yeah, for me, in my opinion, it's something. It might be someone that has nothing to do with, like, do you know what I mean? And that team, and it's like to me, it's just stupid. Like, no.
I mean, but
it's a team-based thing.
It must be so rare though that like the team that ends up with, like the team that ends up making it to the actual finals hasn't had one. To be fair, the Heat probably had it when like last year with Jimmy. Was Jimmy even an All-Star last year?
I'm sure Bam might have been one, or would he?
That's what I'm saying though. Like normally, just because like if you're one of the better players, you'll normally be on one of the winning teams. I can't remember the last time an NBA team that made the finals did not have an All-Star on the team.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And there was another one, USA versus World.
No.
So like that.
Ooh, that would be better.
But right now, the way it is, because Europe, the world, should I say, is very, very, very good. But at the same
That
time,
would be good.
That would definitely
That would actually be better.
That'll be what Shea,
Giannis, Jokic, Luka.
Shea, Luka, Giannis, Jokic, Embiid.
and Bees, you were saying,
No, Embiid, you were saying, Embiid, Flake.
So that's 4 though. Like, wait, hang on. Who else was on the All Star team? That would be
Cat.
Yeah. There's not enough. There's not enough of them.
that's the problem. And then you're drafting guys like, I don't know, these other guys just to fill up the roster. Like,
Yeah, no, there's not quite enough.
I just think the 3-on-3 thing is cool because I think it will expose players.
I like your
the
division
laziness.
idea as well.
Yeah, that one's
I think it will expose players that I don't feel like in the 3-on-3 you can be taking the piss almost.
Yeah,
Because how can you? It's
That's
3-on-3.
what I was saying. Like, bro, if you're on the freeze now and it's okay, you're not guarding me, and you start getting lit up,
Yeah.
bro. There's going to be pride like, bro. Let me contest more.
It's a bit of pride now.
If-
Like, do you know what I mean?
If they change it to like each attribute, there's 6 divisions in the NBA. If each division, like you said, had 4 to 5 representatives, the only thing that would be like tight is when like you look at like the Pacific one with the Clippers, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Kings, and the Suns. Like you'd be like, oh damn! So I have to pick between KD, Booker, Kawhi, PG. Like if you look at that division alone had 7 players that made the All Star team this year. So it would be tough to say, we're.
But I still feel they should do the voting as East versus West, and they should just divide the 8x3 if they're to do that. And then similar with the 6s by 4s, if they're to do that, then maybe just put people in. Do you know what I mean? You're representing the North, representing the South, representing the East, representing the West, but you're just 6. But I think the 3s is the best thing.
Or like based on like one thing that I think would work a lot better actually, if you group draft classes and say like draft class versus draft class. And then for like the older lot, you just have like, I don't know, like the 2000s draft. Because there's not enough of them to make up like a whole team. It would be what, LeBron, KD, Steph. Harden would have to get drafted, but like there's.
I think there's many ways. I think you just have to make up.
Just a lot more.
Throwing enough out there, so listen.
A lot more.
One good aspect. Hopefully, Doc hasn't taken credit for this. We need to check. Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
He won the 3-point contest and All Star MVP. So, what does this show anything for Damian Lillard? Does this prove us wrong in any way, shape or form? Obviously, there's another second point to go by, but in terms of him winning those 2, and even the comments that Giannis was like, yeah, well, the oldest here, we got to beat a bunch of kids to win the championship. Like, come on, Dame, this sort of thing. Like, obviously, it was jokes, but it was still like, yo, I can't lie. He ain't lying. Like, he ain't lying. But Dame winning 3-point and All Star, like, what does this really say for him? Or is it just like you just did it and it doesn't really matter?
For real? Honestly, it means absolutely fuck all. Because Dame at present is having, like, he's averaging below his career average. So, in the regular season anyway. So, like, great that he was able to put on a show in the All Star game. I can't fault him for winning, the 3-point shootout because he went last and Dame did what Dame does. To be fair, he almost didn't though. He almost.
It was his last rack that saved him.
It's not even the last rack, bro. He missed every shot bar one. The very last shot was the shot that made that put him above everyone else to win the competition. Otherwise, I think he would have drawn with everyone else.
Again, yeah.
So
24, yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't put a lot of weight in it because, like I said, one, it's deep that Halliburton didn't win MVP. He had a great game as well, especially from him just being in the home crowd and whatnot. But looking at Dame in the All Star game, he was just in his element as just shooting, isn't it? But what matters is regular season. Yes, I respect. Like me, I was one of the people who said Dame should not be starting in this in the All Star game, and I stand by it. To be fair, I don't feel bad for it either because I think there's other guys who've been playing better than him this year that probably deserve to make it over him. However, shout out to him for showing up when the opportunity was there to get a whole load of buckets. He was first in line. But it does have to be said, you're not having the best season, and the fact that your team are not having the most success over the last 10 games, they're 3-7.
Yeah.
I can't stress that game against Memphis was absolutely disgusting to watch. Because Charles Barkley called it from the beginning of the game and said, this is going to be a close game. Watch out. Because Milwaukee have been struggling. Memphis is going to come out here and be super hungry. Memphis is about Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart. I don't think Derrick Rose even played, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing G.G. Jackson, who came off the bench, and a bag of guys on two-way contracts or rookies. Like, for you to come out here full strength with your roster and still lose that game, I don't care that it was in Memphis. That's embarrassing, man.
Nasty work.
And the worst thing is, from the start of the game, you could see that Memphis were going to be hanging around because Milwaukee right now they just couldn't put them away. And Doc came out and was making excuses as he does, saying how our guys were thinking about did you say Cancun or Cabo?
Cabo, yeah.
Their minds are not on the game. Big man, your job is to get these guys ready to play every single game. And I'm hearing excuses like this. But you're partially right. You have to put the onus on the players at the same time because Giannis should not ever walk into a game like that and not absolutely dominate to the point where he can rest. Because a real team with a championship mentality would have said, let's wrap this up quickly by halftime so we can rest for the second half and let the young boys play. Yeah. Instead, you man are out here playing full minutes. Full sets of minutes. Dame played 35 minutes in that game. Shot 7 of 21.
Oh, wow.
3 of 13, but then in the All-Star game, he takes 23 threes and makes 11. Yeah, that's...
No defense, isn't it?
But I'm saying, of course there's no defense, but at the same time, like, you're supposed to be Dame Lillard. Like, these young boys should not be able to check you the way they were checking them. So, yeah, the All-Star game means nothing to me in terms of... Like, I don't feel like I was wrong in saying that Dame shouldn't have been there.
Yeah. I think, obviously... if we're talking about the actual All-Star game, he's the first player to win both 3-point contest and the All-Star game MVP in the same year.
Nice.
So he broke history and he became the 5th player alongside Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Glenn Rice and Larry Bird to win the 3-point to win both 3-point contest and All-Star game MVP. But this is my problem. Just continue what you're saying. Like, they have been so trash. There's nothing to even like celebrate with the way he's been playing, the way his actual team has been playing. And I know it's great All-Star game, blah blah blah. No one plays defense, no one really cares. The 3-point contest was alright, but I actually watched that Memphis game, and it was so bad. Like I rarely watch a team that I generally called at the beginning of the season and said they would be in the NBA Finals lose to a team this poorly. I don't think I've ever seen it. And this team, and it's not like Memphis, firstly, their starting 5 have been shocking because they're very low in the West anyway. Their backups are even worse. How in any right mind are you losing to their backups? And it wasn't even like losing. It was they were getting out hustled, out rebounded. Like they were getting blocked. Like they were actually getting outplayed. And like it's all good and All-Star game and the next game, and I know we're talking about a game that happened before, whatever, but I can't hide from that. We've not done a podcast since. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, people need to understand. Like, Dave, you won it, and all you've done is get the limelight for us to cuss you, because this, and you and the Bucks, I mean, boy, it's been really, really bad lately, and look, between him, Doc, Giannis, that locker room.
Like, those two... Well, those 3 in general need to, but Dame and Giannis need to go in that locker room and torch everyone about, yo, we are arse right now. What a bag of poo, bro. We need to turn up and become the championship team that we are. Like we've been here, we've been there before, and we've won. Yeah, there's a few changes, but our culture is still the same. Our values are still the same. Like we don't have Drew, but Lillard's here. We got to make this work. Like he needs to, like what Shaq was saying to him as well. Like you 3 need to sort it out, but you and Giannis need to go there and tell these man to pattern up, because right now it's just looking like a field of grass and hippies on drugs. You lot are just doing whatever you want. You're moving mad, insane. So it needs to stop. But something else which happened where I'm starting to think, like, in terms of like Giannis and Dame's relationship, friendship, whatever you want to call it on the team, obviously it definitely is like fresh and everything, but I'm not sure what that is saying as well, because maybe that is also a trickling effect to the rest of the team, But then again, I'm like, I don't know, because even the way Giannis speaks about Dame, like, I'm his biggest fan, and I'm like, he's saying all the right things, and you know, obviously how he's showing it, I'm sure he's also doing that and giving flipping free trainers and that. But Dame was asked about his top 5 in the league at the moment, and obviously done himself, Steph Curry, LeBron, KD, and Bam Adebayo.
That makes. The last one makes no sense.
Obviously, I don't know why he didn't take Jokic, but Bam's his guy in it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, I have a few things to say here, but number one, obviously, he's left Giannis out. That's your teammate. Even if you want to put Bam there, that's your teammate. You gotta just slot him in there no matter what. Like, if there was anyone else, even Steph right now would say, yeah, me, Clay. As arse as he's been, he'll mention Clay. He might leave Draymond because you know what I mean. He's moving insane, but like. That was like, okay, yeesh. And then I started to think, okay, yes, he left out Giannis, he didn't mention him in anything. And he's like, okay, cool. Then I started to think, if Dame was on the Heat, he would be happy because he'd be with his guy Bam. He likes the culture, he likes the team. Would he be playing better because he's in a happy scenario with his guy Bam, who they'll actually play better with each other because they're actually going to pick and roll? Like Giannis and Dame pick and roll is very low. I think he does more pick and rolls with Brook Lopez than Giannis. And I'm like, if that was Bam, I know that pick and roll will be flying. I know he'll be happy. I'm thinking now. I think like, obviously, yes, he would have been more happy in Miami and everything. But the situation is, you're at the Bucks. They have won in a few recent years. You're paired up with Giannis, who's one of the most dominant forces in the league. Like, what's going on? But him leaving out Giannis, is this a big deal? Like, is their relationship still kind of like, yo, I don't know.
As much as I'd love for there to be drama in this situation, I just don't think it's that. I think he either wasn't like really paying attention and just kind of forgot that Giannis existed, or because did he actually say Bam?
Yeah, he said Bam out of like
in his top 5,
and there was no hesitation. It wasn't like it's like he said Steph, KD, LeBron, Bam, like me, like it was straight.
Okay.
There wasn't.
He might have said Bam because Bam dropped a triple-double on them a few nights ago.
Oh, come on, Bam's boy.
It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Bam had 16, 12, and 11 on them though. Like I can't see in what right mind you're in where you say Bam apart from the fact that he's your friend. But even then, it doesn't really make sense, bro. Like how Bam isn't even a top 3 center in the league, to be honest.
Whoa,
he's not a top 3 center in the league.
Well, okay, Jokic, Embiid.
Yeah.
Then who?
Which one do you want? Rudy Gobert?
I'm sorry, what?
You want Rudy Gobert? I'll give you Rudy Gobert.
Over Bam?
Of course.
You're moving crazy.
I'm not moving
You're moving crazy.
I'm not
I
moving
thought you would have
crazy.
had sense and said Cap, but you said
Cat's not a center this year though. He's playing power forward.
yeah, but still Rudy Gobert.
I'll say Rudy Gobert.
No, you're moving.
I'll say Rudy Gobert.
No, you're moving insane.
And I'm the biggest Gobert hater as well, but I see.
To put Gobert over Bam
Nah.
is absolutely insane.
I think
Bam's a top 3 center, 100%.
Bam could be a top 3 center if
He
he left
is a
Miami. Bam could be a top 3 center.
He's a top 3 center right now. Yes, he is. Come on, man. Bam is a top 3 center.
Sabonis
right
is also better than him. You're not going to argue about Sabonis is better than Bam.
There's an argument that can still be made. 100%.
There's no argument, but
Yes,
Sabonis is better than Bam.
100%.
What does Bam do better than Sabonis?
Jump mile.
Alright, so just to get some stats up as we go.
Like if you said Sabonis, I could be like, okay, well, there's an argument there you can make.
Sabonis is definitely better than Bam. Bam's lucky he's not in the West, otherwise he wouldn't have made the All-Star team.
It's mad that Sabonis saying with what he's averaging as well.
Yeah, it's because of the West. Is AD a centre?
No, he's not, but he's a forward, isn't it? Front forward, isn't it?
He plays centre, bro.
No, he don't.
He plays centre.
Yeah, he plays centre.
Okay, so he's a centre. If Cat's power forward, then AD's a centre. But all I'm saying is,
Yeah.
Do you want some stats whilst we're on this then?
Yeah, give me Sabonis though. Don't.
Sabonis stats are definitely inflated this because he's getting triple doubles like it's nothing, like it's water, bro.
So why Bam's not inflated? Jimmy hasn't been around.
That Heat team is there's team times where even Bam himself ain't even there.
Listen, bro.
So Sabonis is averaging 20 points.
Yep.
0.5 blocks,
Yep.
8.3 assists, wow.
Yep.
13.2 rebounds, He's shooting 62.2% from the field.
Yep.
And 42.6% from the free.
Okay. 40 what from free?
42.6.
All right, let me give you.
insane.
So it's not even close, is it? Because Bam's averaging 20 points on 51% from the field, 9.1%
Eesh.
from three.
I'm saying, what?
9.1% from three. He's not a 3-point threat at all. 10.7 rebounds, 4.2 assists. So every single stat on offense that I've given you, he is better. Bam is definitely a better defender. I don't know if he's a better defender if he's just more athletic.
He's definitely a better defender. Therefore,
Yeah, no, he is actually, because I've seen Bam switch on switch. Okay, I've seen Bam switch on to guards. But bro, I'm just telling you, it's like he's lucky he's not in the West, because he would not have gotten an All Star this year. Like 100%, he wouldn't have got All Star this year. Let me look at his blocks for this season.
Bonus was unfortunate to be fair.
In fairness, Bam's only averaging one block a game. 1 block a game, 1.1 steals. So minus is 0.8 blocks. Did you say, Julian?
0.5.
Yeah. 0.8. 0.9 steals, 0.5 blocks.
It's not that far apart on defense, statistically anyway. Obviously, he'll have a different effect in terms of influencing where there's no stat. However, I just feel like it's not close to me anyway over who I would have. And I'm pretty sure they were either the same. No, they were one draft apart. I think Sabonis was 2016 and Bam was 2017. Yeah, man, Bam is not a top 3 center in the league, bro.
She obviously went peak as well.
I don't know what Dame was. Dame was definitely smoking cess. I don't know what's going on, bro.
I don't know. Obviously, he should have been Jokic straight. But what's even mad is that what it just came to head now that someone tweeted that Kyson had more points than Bam.
That is so bad.
And I'm out here defending him. But
Actually, let's talk about this. How are your team scoring 211 points in an All-Star game and you had
3?
That's absolutely right.
Let me double check. I'm sure it's because Kyson.
And he started as well.
Kyson had 4 points.
Imagine if you bet.
Like I don't put like I said, I don't put loads of value on the points you scored in the All-Star game. But what the hell were you doing?
Oh my gosh, yeah, 3 points.
2 assists. He only played 17 minutes. To be fair. Yeah. Why was he there? Why was he there? Like someone told me, I would have rather seen Paolo start. That would have been more entertaining for me to watch. Nah, Bam's taking a piss, man. Do you retract your statement? Rodney? Do you retract your statement? Rodney? 3, 2 and 2. Do you retract your statement?
It's All-Star game.
What is casting that? What's casting What was his stats, man? I've had enough of this, man.
It's an All-Star game, man.
No, I understand it's an All-Star game, but Bam might be 3, 2 and 2. Did he even hit a 3? Or was
he only hit a 3, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like Dame, I don't know if you're trying to recruit Bam to come to Milwaukee, which I really don't see him doing coming from Miami. I'm very, very confused. I'm not understanding.
I can't even find Kyson that's flipping.
But I think Rodney, to your point about Dame, I don't think there's a lot of value in his list, and I don't think there's like him not saying Giannis. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's about, bro.
maybe not.
Maybe forgot Giannis was there.
What, Jules? Anything on this?
You still
I'm trying to find Kyson. He had 4 points.
He had 4 points.
Yeah.
Anything else? No assists, no rebounds.
I'm trying to just find it, but it said overall he had 4 points.
All I'm saying is it. Kai came off the bench as well.
So this reality is, I saw something before the game of a lady saying if he wins All-Star game MVP, she was going to do some smoke to this guy. Yeah?
Was it Ice Spice or Ruby Rose?
Some outrageous.
It was Ruby Rose.
Yeah, it said drop 20 or 30.
I just went
30.
Yeah, 30. That was it. I feel for him, man.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Rob, well, it's tough now, isn't it? I'm fighting losing battle here, so.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. It's not bad. That's fine, man.
Okay, well, Damian's All-Star weekend performance. I mean, cool, you did what you did, but we want to see it in the regular season. So let's hope the second half of the season there can be improvement with the Bucks, and those 3 can take accountability. When it comes to accountability, out of those 3, there's one guy who has never taken accountability, And then he had his son go on there and call him daddy. Yeah. On live TV. Yeah. Defended him. And it's like, yo, I don't understand what's going on. Like, really and truly, he's making a mockery. And this segment is featuring Doc Floppery. Yeah. JJ Reddick went in on Doc Rivers, saying that he's never taken accountability. He's seeing the trend. He's always throwing his teams under the bus, people under the bus, especially with that Carbo statement as well, thrown under the bus. When it came to Clippers, he went through. You say it was recent as well. In the space of 72 hours, he's throwing how many people under the bus?
He threw the Bucks players, the organization, and Kawhi Leonard
and Kawhi Leonard saying, I remember when he was talking about it, saying, yeah, with the bubble. I
can tell you what he said.
Yeah.
Doc revealed he attempted to influence Kawhi Leonard's perspective on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's potential, and this is before they got PG. So when Kawhi was like, yeah, I want to join the team, but you need to get PG, and because Shai had to be part of that deal, Doc Rivers was trying to say, no, you know what? Like, I think you and Shai could work out. And this is what Doc said. I even brought it up to Kawhi. Are you sure? I think Shai's going to be an amazing player. It may take a year or two, but I think you're underestimating how good Shai's going to be.
So with that statement alone, not only is he basically trying to throwing Kawhi Leonard under the bus, but he's also trying to take props for Shai. And he also tried to take props about the Harden trade to the Clippers. Like, this man is a war criminal, you know. I don't know who's worse, him or Putin. We really have to compare now, because really and truly, he's doing some world shaking things, huh? Honestly, like, fam, I can't believe it. And I agree with everything JJ said, and Patrick Beverley trying to be the guard dog that he is and saying, you saved your career. Relax.
It's not true.
Relax.
Patrick Beverley's only saying that because he plays for the Bucks now.
Also, like, Pat, this is the second... When did Pat join the 76ers? In the summer? Or yeah? Because this is the second time in like 5 years that Pat has been coached by Doc Rivers now. Obviously, he did a stint as the Clippers in the bubble. So Pat was there. And then obviously now he's back in the under Doc in Milwaukee again. Yeah. So I think it's a combination of things that he's speaking from experience of being coached by Doc previously, but also he's trying to say don't talk about my coach like that.
Alright, so I need to actually read out, because we've not actually said the quotes that JJ said. Actually, that would be ideal. So JJ Reddick, so to give perspective to people that somehow don't know, Doc Rivers was hired in late January. Yeah, we are in February. To be the Milwaukee Bucks coach. He's sitting on a 40 million contract. 40 million.
He's getting 4 M's.
40 million.
Over how many years? 4 years?
That runs through to the 2026-27 season.
Is that it?
Yeah.
So it's a 3-year contract?
Yeah. So that's what he's on, and that's what happened, alright? So now, since then, they've played 10 games. The total of 10 games. In those 10 games, they have gone 3-7.
For 40 mil?
I repeat.
No, wait. I didn't even know. I didn't
think about that either.
40 mil?
$40 million.
What's crazy about coaching contracts as well, regardless of whether it's like NBA contracts. If you get fired, you still get paid. Yeah.
It's guaranteed.
Oh my God.
They are now 3-7.
See, something just went into my eye because of this. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this. No, I'm actually so rattled. 40 million.
So to understand why we are like this, there's now perspective. So to this perspective, Rivers has said, in light of this 3-7 start, the Bucks' job has probably been more difficult than I thought. JJ Reddick then came out correctly, in our opinion, saying, I've seen the trend for years. The trend is always making excuses. JJ Reddick actually played for Doc Rivers for 4 years between 2013 and 2017.
That's a long time.
It's 4 years, and they were at the Clippers. He even said, Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player, we get it. But it's an excuse. You're always throwing your team under the bus. Yeah, and what we were saying is, as you correctly said about Doc Rivers in the loss of the Grizzlies team somehow, he said he had some guys here, some guys were in Cabo questioning his play effort. We lost to Memphis, oh it's the players' fault. That's what Reddick said in response. They lose to Memphis, oh it's his players' fault. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. Yeah. Then he's like, then you look at quotes over the weekend, now you want to take credit for the James Harden trades, the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy. So off the light of that, that's what Beverly has now gone back and forth. And then obviously Beverly went and said that this man Doc actually saved your career, started you and no one else wanted to. And you go and you retire and go on TV and say that. And then obviously Reddick responded back to that saying, Pat, my guy, I had a 4-year offer with a player option for the same money to be a starter for a different team. FOH, fuck out of here. So to finish my mini segment on this and round it up and let the boys take over, JJ Reddick stats with the Clippers.
Yeah, it doesn't help that yet. Yeah.
Let me tell you what he averaged under Doc, and it's very clear to see he would have figured out any team. So Patrick Beverly, shut your mouth. 28.9 points per game, minutes per game.
So I'm about to say, JJ never answered.
Minutes per game. Wow.
I was like, when did he see that?
15.8 points per game, that's correct. 2.1 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 0.6 steals per game, 0.1 blocks, 46.6% from the field, 44% from the free, 89.7% free throw shooting. He was a sharpshooter.
Yeah, 100%.
And he was a very good two guard in the NBA. He would have worked out on any team.
The thing is, is obviously when Austin Rivers was saying, you had your best years with him, Now, the thing is, we're not saying nothing about Doc when it comes to the regular season. He somehow always made a way to obviously look good. Like he's somehow figured it out. Obviously, in the regular season, you don't really have to make that much adjustments.
100%.
So obviously, during the regular season, yes, a lot of players will have good seasons under him. But this is not where the problem is the fact that, and it's been said by people who are under you, that you don't make adjustments or even good adjustments. You don't do that. You blow leads, pause, and
That wasn't even a pause as well. That was funny as well.
like you do that, and you just flop. Like, as you're holding on to what happened with the Celtics, and it's like that's gone and done. Like, you've had a list of Hall of Fame players under you, and it's like, what have you really shown? Just the same trend. This is where we're getting at. Is that, like, even with the Sixers recently, you done the same thing, and they were saying, "Oh, yeah, no," but you shagged in the bubble of the Clippers. You shagged. Like, this is what we're saying. And now, also, the reason why I understand that it's hard, taking over a team in the season and such. Yeah, but Jawai also, I'm not taking that BS.
Okay.
Because what was Doc's role before he became head coach?
He was an advisor to Adrian Griffin.
An advisor, so you are advising him on how to coach this team. You're in familiar grounds. I'm serious about you. It's not like he was sitting at home doing nothing, because obviously he would make no adjustment to his life if he's not been doing it on the court. So it's not like he was doing nothing. It's not like he was just sitting doing whatnot, or he was just commentating or such, whatever. No, you was an advisory to Adrian Griffin. So he was advising him on how to coach this team. So you're not really mid-season. You're just now like, okay, what I would tell him now, I just need to do myself. And he's saying how he was told the Bucks organization that, I don't know why you're doing this, or this is a mistake, or whatever, so and so and so. But the fact that they've spoken to you about it anyway, you were advising, so you had a good role there. So the degree of difficulty turns down a bit because you were still part of the organization. You still knew the ins and outs of what is happening. So this is why I'm not hearing it. And it's just been bad. And you're throwing your players on us, bro. Your job as a coach, you've got to get these players switched on. Yeah, and you start with the leaders. You start with Giannis and Dame. You go from there, and then you make them have a triggering effect to the rest of the team. But what you're doing, you're throwing the teams under the bus. And then now they're saying now the Bucks go and share, because if the Bucks, I'm saying like if the Bucks this year or next year do not win, yeah, and or they get out first round again or something like that. If anything mad happens, I think this will be Doc's last coaching contract ever.
I mean, we said that
in the NBA.
I don't know how.
No. And the fact that he even got to coach the East All Star, I'm just what's going on?
Listen, there is some type of, and I said it before, there's some type of reverse racial bias with Doc Rivers.
100%.
Where he's the only black man I've ever seen in sports make the same mistake over and over again and continue to get hired for it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. We like you said, has great regular season teams, but is that down to his coaching or is that down to the fact that he's always had good teams? You go back and look at this year, he's now got Damian Giannis. And bear in mind, they already started well. When they're on a
30 and 13.
This is what I'm saying, when he took over. And then now I think
33 and 20.
Which is okay, yeah, exactly. Then you go back to last year when it was Philadelphia and he had the MVP on his team with James Harden running the show. And Tyrese Maxey as well. Go back to the Clippers before that now. And you had Kawhi Leonard, Paul George in the bubble, 3-1 up against Denver in prime position to go and make the Battle of LA finally happen. After everyone was always talking about the hype around it and everything, to go and fumble that bag and have us lose. Then we go back to when he was in, when he had the Lob City Clippers. Before Kawhi and Paul George even thought about coming there, and we blew a lead to Houston as well. I look at Doc Rivers as a Clippers fan, and I'm disgusted. And the fact that his son, went on national TV to defend him as well, knowing full well that is a nepo baby that was playing on our team as well. Get out of here, man! It's disgusting that you even had the cheek, Austin Rivers, to go on daytime television and try and back your dad in this situation. For 11 years, this man has underachieved. For 11 years, this man has underachieved in the playoffs. Do you know how crazy that is? And he's riding this reputation of being a Hall of Fame coach off of having X amount of regular season wins. But like I said, he's had great teams. But one championship. One.
I think when I look at Doc Rivers, I look at someone that is well past his prime, the best that you will give him, like he will give a team, like he's past his prime. If you're looking at a player and you look at them, they're in their prime, in their late 20s, early 30s, Doc's about 70. He's finished. Like, to me, the guy has got so many decisions wrong. I do not understand why the Bucks went and decided to hire this guy. Like 30 and 13 to sack someone. In my opinion, the next coach you're getting, if someone is on a 30 and 13, should be winning the chip. Like, I don't want to see the Bucks anywhere else but the NBA Finals, because that's the exact reason you hired Doc. If Adrian Griffin, Doc was meant to be the I don't know, the best thing that's ever been since sliced bread, because clearly he's better enough to fire someone that's 30 and 13. I mean, that's NBA Finals. I don't want to see anything else, but they ain't going to make it. And we've all called it on this pod. That decision has lost them a year in Giannis and Dame. They've lost a whole year. They will not win the championship this year. And you're seeing it. Like, after 10 games, you're seeing the embarrassment. Within the 10 games, you've seen some bad defeats. Really bad defeats. But Memphis was another level.
100%. Speaking of as well, Giannis said that the Bucks are going to win a championship with Damian Lillard. He said, we traded Drew Holiday. I won't say I didn't like it, because Damian Lillard is now my teammate. And with him, we're going to win the championship. But my best friend leaving, bear in mind he said leaving like he wasn't the guy who pulled that trigger, by the way. My best friend leaving, who was living 2 minutes away from me, is tough. We won a championship and we cried together. Big man, I just want you to understand that you are part of the problem as well. Like, your lack of on-court leadership has put you guys in this position. The fact that you're so quick to fire Adrian Griffin, and I understand, like, even Bud, I have to take this all the way back to Bud, because I really don't think they'll be in this, and I'm saying be in a situation like they're not the third team. They're still in very good position to go and do what they're expected to do. However, this road has started to become very, very rocky, and I have to trace it back to firing Bud. My man had a big grievance in the family as well. You know, after this man won you a championship, for you to go and fire him when Giannis himself got injured pretty badly in the first round and gave Miami a lot of momentum to go and then win that series against Milwaukee when they came in as underdogs. If Giannis was healthy, I think we'd be having a very different conversation. They might not even be there. We don't know. But I'm just saying, the second you guys fired Bud, things got out of control. 100%. Then you brought in a rookie head coach and expected him to win you a championship. Very, very crazy. Then you go and trade Drew Holiday to get Damian Lillard, but expect the same amount of chemistry, considering you've now changed essentially your number 2 option, swapped him for Damian Lillard, expected the same continuity in the team, and now your head coach as well. Like, make it make sense, bro.
And there's so much destruction as well, because, like, the thing is as well, it's like, it's not even like Bud got outclassed. It was literally just Jimmy. It was literally Jimmy putting on a spectacular performance for that, and then the role players just obviously they did what they could do, but it was literally Jimmy went out of his mind. When you actually look back at that series, it's like, yes, Miami did a good job, whatever, and so and so, and let's remember that their role players were acting way out of pocket. So yes, that happened, but it all goes down to Jimmy, because now if Jimmy don't score 50 and 45 and all this and he's just on the 30s, is a different story. On top of that is the way how the team was with Drew. Giannis had the ball in his hands much, much more, and he was initiating offense much more as well. You've got Dame there now, so Dame is the one that needs to initiate everything. That has to go through there. Now, Giannis, you got to play more off ball. You got to cut back door more. You got to go back to the basket more. This is where you get to actually change things, because now Giannis is initiating too much offense, for me personally, rather than Dame, and is messing up the whole flow. Let Dame be Dame. You're saying we've got to let Dame be Dame. Let him control the tempo. He's now your point guard. He can handle the ball. He can pass the ball. He's fine to do that. What you need to do, Giannis, as well, is now play off of him. Where if you're playing off ball and you're cutting and he finds you cool, or if you're doing screen rolls, like, this is what the things he's happened. And I reckon Bud would have put a much better system and used Lillard much better. And obviously, Adrian Griffin was fighting the flipping locker room, so that was really a downhill battle. He'll find the locker room, so they're trying to make adjustments, and he's up. And on top of all of that, all the troubles that he was going through, he was still had a good record. Doc's come in, and what has he done? Negative record, or 3 of 7 in your last 10 games, and he's throwing you guys under the bus. How can you be so quick to do that?
The thing that I don't like about all of this is, like, why are people jumping on, like, Austin Rivers essentially, and Patrick Beverley jumping on, like, JJ Reddick in terms of him playing under Doc rather than what JJ Reddick said? Exactly. It's like you question you as a man rather than the point you made. Like, it's like if Cam says something, why am I questioning Cam saying it rather than what Cam said?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They did that to Cam Newton as well, you know?
Yeah. They
did that to Cam Newton when he was talking about Brock Purdy being a game manager. Exactly. They're like, oh, how can you say that when you had X amount of career or da-da-da-da-da.
And it's like, he's made a point. Talk about the point. Why
attack his character?
Yeah, why are you attacking the person or his character? What he's made a point, and the point, unfortunately, is valid because you're not doing well. You're doing 3 and 7 in a team that is meant to be with the Celtics as the best in the East. They're meant to have they do have two top 10 players in their team, and it's meant to be one of the most fair duos of all time. Like, be real. This team won a championship a couple years ago. This is meant to be the move that shook the NBA, and you're sitting at 3 and 7. Like, that's not good enough. You're going to get criticism. So don't be defend my dad. Shut your mouth. Like, you're out of the league for a reason. Like, you're able enough to be in the league. So stop getting onto JJ Reddick. He retired when his time was good. Austin Reeves, how old is he? 32. No,
Austin Rivers, you mean?
Austin Rivers, sorry. 31.
He probably should still be in the league. Him and AD were in the same draft.
That's what I mean. So then you're sitting there talking. Why aren't you playing, bro? Like, don't get onto JJ Reddick. Really question why aren't you playing, bro?
Your dad kept you in the league.
Do you know what I mean? A lot of people will say that. So don't be talking a man's character too tough. Like, because he could clap back and it could be as rude as what you said. Like, he's making a statement based on facts, and all you're trying to do is make bullshit about his character. You're only in the league because of my dad. Shut up. Like, you're only in are you only a basketball because of your dad? Privilege. Do you know what I mean? Like, if your dad wasn't Doc Rivers, would you even be a basketball player? Would you be in the league?
It would have been as that, and it's
Like,
like,
would you have played for the Clippers? Like,
I think he was still.
but then this is where the argument starts going.
no,
And
I
then that's
still
what I
play
mean.
league because he's high school mistake.
Thank you very. I was gonna say his ball his life high school mistake.
Yeah.
You know he was number one player in the country coming out of high school.
Like,
Yeah, he was.
I remember the video when he goes, "I'm gonna go off right."
And then he went off.
And he went
Yeah.
off. So I know he would have never been in the league. However, the favoritism playing under like it would have been a bit different. And the thing is, it's not like JJ already said, Doc Rivers, you are complete arse. No one questioned about anything to do with regular season though. And then you're going to about JJ. You had your best years with him. Yeah, okay, cool. What happened those postseasons? How did Doc adjust? How did Doc coach the team when it mattered, and not just okay, we're facing Atlanta tonight. That's it, bro. Those things aren't happening. So that's why I'm not hearing it from Austin Rivers or Pat Bev. Pat Bev, guy, I understand he's gonna always give some sort of 2 pence into something, and especially now that he's his head coach now, he's definitely going to probably get Doc Rivers on the pod soon. I won't be surprised. But at the end of the day, the trend is the trend. He hasn't got the name Doc Floppery for no reason. Doc the Flop is not for no reason. Players haven't said that this guy adjustment for no reason. They haven't said these things it's for a reason. That's the trend. After the Celtics, it's just been it's just been bad. The only postseason series where I can say, and I don't even know if he really did adjust there, but the only one is when it was the Clippers against the Warriors, when Warriors had KD, Steph, Clay, all that, and it was on the Clippers. It was Shea, Lou Williams, Pat Bev,
Montrezl Harrell,
Harrell,
Tobias Harris might have still been there.
That team was like, bro, we knew that team wasn't good, but they put up a fight. And then for me, I'm just thinking, is it because the caliber players? Because those guys were just dogs on the team. Just you have Pat Bev, Lou, like it was that. That's the only teams I can say. You know what? I won't even call that a flop because what could you do there? You made it competitive. You sold them to 6 games. I can't say anything. But outside of that, just flops. Lob City flop. New Gen Clippers flop. Sixers flop. Bucks flopping. What's going on? Doc the Flop. That's what you are. If you don't redeem himself,
he's not.
Saying the only person who can explain what's going on is Dr. Umar. Big man team. That's the only person. That is the only
Why
person.
Dr. Umar?
Because for some reason this reverse. I don't know what kind of when they say money infused power that Doc has got. I don't know.
They don't see him. They don't see him.
He's got that ish. I'm telling you. Like, I don't know what secret basketball society he's in, but I'm telling you, only Dr. Umar can explain what is going on here.
It's mad.
Big man thing. That's it.
Let's move on, man. You're moving, man.
So, yeah. Anyways, moving on. We all know that players such as LeBron, KD, and Steph are faces of the leagues, but they won't be around too soon. Obviously,
Much longer, yeah.
Not much longer. So there's a few years left. So now the thing is, what's going to happen when these guys leave? Who's going to be the face of the league? What players are going to be the top players and faces of the league? And recently, this is another trend we've noticed. When Taylor Rooks or Malika Andrews is interviewing these players, it's always a madness.
They don't know how to act.
They just lose
They
their
don't know
mind.
how to. I'm fine in the West. No, you ain't, bro. No, you ain't.
What was the other one that Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown. I'm gonna have 5 champions in the next 6 years. My bro.
Yeah, the finals appearance.
Yeah, the finals appearance. But
Some championships.
appearance. That's it.
Yeah.
But Jayson Tatum in the interview said, he said that when he says on the court, generally he thinks he's the best player in the NBA. And I'm not mad at him for having that mentality. But he also said that he thinks that he has a chance to be the face of the league. It's literally for him to take. So, saying this, is Jayson Tatum stating... there's a lot to happen there. There's a lot to go. Is Jason...
You said Jayson Tatum stating.
Jayson Tatum statement here. What are your thoughts on that? And also, if yes or no, who else are the chances of being face of the league?
Can I read out the statement quickly?
Of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the statement that Tatum said is, I feel like it's mine to take. I do feel like if we win a championship, it would be more distinguished and clear. But I understand I'm in that shortlist for sure.
I feel like
I feel like it depends what we're talking about here. If you're talking about just overall best player in the league, 100% I think he can do that. Like 100% I think he can do that because he has the skill set. He's a two-way wing, which we know is like one of the best combinations of player that you can be in this league to really be classed as one of the best. He's one of the best offensive talents I've ever seen, to be honest. Like if we're being 100% real, when you talk about like lack of flaws in game, like he's got a handle, he can shoot, he's athletic enough to finish at the rim. He plays above the rim as well. Like it's not like he's, you know, Paul Pierce out here trying to do a mad thing. He's got a great mid-range game as well. His passing has definitely gotten a lot better since the finals as well. Like that's one of the big things that I know on this podcast we said he needs to improve on to really be classed as one of those, you know, elite guys. I think 100%, and he's been the leader of that team for a couple of years now, and they've been able to, you know, at least make a conference finals. You know, like when you're a leader of a team and you're making the conference finals and stuff like that, you have to give him some level of credit. So 100%. My only thing is that like I think on court, no problems at all. He's not very like outspoken or anything like that. Off court though, like you look at Anthony Edwards, right? That guy was made to be marketed.
Yeah, 100%.
Because even his advert for his first shoe, yeah, and it was what, like 20 seconds, and he's got a duffel bag, and he's pulling out. What do you think about these shoes? Garbage. What do you think about these shoes? Garbage. And he's pulling out other NBA players' signature shoes, bro. LeBron's garbage. Giannis's garbage. Steph's garbage. He said these AE1s though, these the one. Like that's confidence. That's cockiness. That's everything that I feel like the American market would love about a player. It's the fact that he's so confident in himself and cocky, but he can also back it up with his game. He talks a lot. You know, every time he gets interviewed, you know he's going to give you a nugget. You know, there's always going to be one clip that you can always use with him as well. It's entertaining to watch, man. So I feel like Tatum is a bit more, I don't know if I can say humble necessarily, but he's definitely a lot more reserved than I think Anthony Edwards is. And that's why I feel like when we're talking about faces of the league, I don't think Tatum's vocal enough to necessarily be that. I think guys like Anthony Edwards are definitely probably ahead of him in that regard. And also you can't forget, like Tatum's got a little bit of a harder path to cross just because like his immediate peers are guys like Luka, who Luka came into the league and immediately got given that like, yeah, he's the next one up. Like he's going to be the next greatest player. And I think even though Tatum has finished above Luka a couple of times in MVP now for the last couple of years, I think it's just, I think when the day comes that Jokic, Embiid or Giannis do not win MVP, I'd love for it to be Jayson Tatum because I think like he's one of the best players to watch play. But I reckon, I don't know, man. Also, fuck Boston. Like all the way, like fuck Boston, innit? So I'm not too sure, but he has the talent to be, like by far the best player in the league, in my opinion.
The thing about Tatum, I like about him, but I don't like. I think he's a very good player on a very good team, and obviously he's a superstar. We all know how good he is.
Yeah.
But something about him, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Boston factor, but it's just we don't care. Like not being
really.
Nah, like he's not. He doesn't. To me, when I look at Tatum and I look at Boston and I just feel like they're a very, very top team. He's a superstar on the top team, but there's something about him that doesn't scream GOAT level. Like one of the best that ever played the game. And I feel like taking out the 3 over 35s of Steph, KD, and Curry, that obviously generational talents, 3 of the best that ever played the game. Mm-hmm. He's surrounded by, to me, 3 players that are already in this next gen. That are 3 of the best to play the game and will go down as that, plus possibly 2 to 3 more. So the 3 is obviously Giannis is one of the best to ever play the game. Jokic is one of the best 100%. To ever play the game. You've got Embiid, he's also one of the best to ever play the game, and now you've got Luka. I forgot 4.
Embiid will be more positional, but I agree.
Embiid's more positional, but and then you're then dropping down even further to Luka. He will go down eventually as one of the best to ever play the game.
Maybe if he wins something.
If he wins and when he wins, to me, I think he'll eventually win. I think Shea has kind of stepped over Tatum in terms of that supreme superstar status and being able to win an MVP. Shay's there, like Shay's right there right now, and I don't ever think I know you're gonna say, but I don't think Tatum's ever been as close as Shay is now to winning the MVP, being right at the top echelon of that talk of them talks.
1 year where he was
Last year, what do you mean 1 year? Last year, bro. Last year,
He was never that close, man. He was never that
what you
close.
have to remember as well, yeah, and I'm not no disrespect to Shay. However, Shay has the benefit this year of voter fatigue with both Jokic and Embiid now. That you have to remember that. Like with this season that Shay's putting up now, and I think Shay is my MVP, by the way. I'm just saying that. Do you think Shay's season this year would even compete with either Jokic's or Giannis's MVPs over the last Jokic, Giannis, even for Embiid in there as well?
Yeah, the last 5.
The last 5, like it probably wouldn't, innit? And I'm not saying that like Shea isn't playing great. However, you have to remember when those guys are winning like their MVPs and whatnot. Even Embiid last year, voter fatigue was factoring into it. That's why I think it slowly changed. Because I think there was a couple of like Giannis won it the first 2 years. There was no chance Giannis was gonna win a third one without winning an NBA championship, and he went on and won the NBA championship in that year. But then in that year, Jokic was the MVP for another 2 years, and now they've given it to Embiid. Now is the time for anyone not named those 3 to win an MVP. And I think Shay's in the lead because he's the leader of a very young team and putting up great numbers. But let's not like Tatum averaged 30 points on 46.6% shooting, and you know he's putting volume behind that as well. 8.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists. I don't have his 3-point percentage in front of me, but he got his team to the conference finals. They should have actually been. I'm telling you, if he did not sprain his ankle in the first minute of that game, they were 100% gonna beat Miami. And I'm very, very confident in that as well. I think they had all the momentum behind them coming back from
3-0.
Bro, do you know how crazy that is as well?
They would have been the first team to come back from 3-0.
in 4 straight.
But the second he got hurt in that first, like Brown should have stepped up. Loads of guys should have stepped up, but they weren't able to. Tatum couldn't play like his usual game, and that's that. But I'm just saying, like, for me, Shea is great. I'm not putting him on above Tatum right now because
no, but I'm not saying in terms of player personnel. I'm saying in terms of like being this. Like to me, I've never seen an MVP race and seen Tatum first for this long anyway. And that, again, obviously you're correct in saying it depends. It's the voter fatigue and the year that he's playing in. But unfortunately, it is the matter of a fact that Shea is either leading it with Jokic is very close. Either way, Shea is right there, and I've never seen Tatum there. And then similarly, you've got Wemby coming in.
Yeah, but
which doesn't help it in terms of the next face of the league. But I can't look at Tatum and think face of the league. Like, I don't look at Tatum and even when the big three retire, I still don't feel he'll be the face of the league. It might take until Jokic, Embiid, so it's the next 3.
I think it'll just take for him to win a championship. Honestly, I think that's the only thing stop. Even everything you said about his team, I think is right. Like he's always, since he's come into the league, he's had a very good team around him. When you take he got drafted and the team acquired Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward the same year, even though they got injured. But I just feel like I look at Jayson Tatum and I'm like, if this guy is Finals MVP in the year that they win the NBA championship, it'll be very hard to look at him and say, is this the start of Jayson Tatum's reign at the top of the league?
It's true though. Winning does change it.
100% it does
change it.
Like people would not be putting Shea as number 1 or 2 in the MVP race if the Thunder didn't have the record they have. What you have to remember as well though, Boston are top of the East. Yes, they have a better team. However, you look at like his team's stats. Like everyone has taken a lesser role to accommodate for the fact that they've increased like the rotation a little bit by bringing in Drew Holiday, by bringing in Porzingis. Like they've made some sacrifices in certain parts of the court to accommodate for that. But Tatum's dropped off 3 points total, but everything else is the same, man. He's still getting this. He's shooting a better field goal percentage, playing slightly less minutes, pretty much the same rebounds, pretty much same assists. Like he's still playing the same kind of game, and I really do think that like some credit has to be given to him for their play. Also, Jalen Brown has not been like that great this season as well. That really does have to be said again.
That All Star appearance was a bit inflated.
100%, because I think we looked at it, Rods, and he's averaging 21 or 22 points this season, which isn't bad, but like, you thought him getting the bag would then, like, he's dropped off significantly. Like, he's dropped off more than I was hoping to see from him from last season.
Because of the acquisition.
Of course it is, but at the same time, there's other factors as well. If you look at him, his efficiency is not good either. Like I said to you, Tatum's pretty much the same. But Jalen Brown, his efficiency's gone down. Also, more games of Boston that I've watched, he's not affecting the game. He's not affecting the game the same way.
Oh, so that makes sense. So the way the league's set at the moment, so you've got the 3 over 35s to me, in obviously KD, Steph, and LeBron.
Yeah.
Then you've got, to me, the
next tier
is the 330s. So Giannis,
Embiid
and Jokic are all like, Giannis is 30, Embiid's 30 in March, and then Jokic is
30 this year
30,
as well.
Yeah.
This year as well.
Yeah. So no, sorry, next year. So they're all 29, 30, so it's the same kind of bracket.
Oh yeah, Jokic's battle was literally like last week, innit? Yeah.
So he's 30 next year. So then Luke is obviously 25, Ant's 23, obviously
Shay's 25, I think.
25, and then you've got
Tatum at 26 or 27 now.
Yeah, just a shot. They're within the same bracket.
Yeah.
So I do believe, actually, like, doubling down kind of what I said before, because obviously that 3 are legendary in what they're doing. I feel the 3 we're looking at now
are the next 3.
Embiid, Jokic, Giannis. 2 of them have championships. All 3 have MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
So then this is where the legendary status is coming with these 3, because they're winning chips, they're winning MVPs, multiple. Between them is 5, and it's the last 5. So that's them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna probably look at when these lot probably start sailing off to their mid 30s. These guys being this age, 29, 30s, and it's on them. And kind of falls into it. And Luka, Shea,
and Tatum.
Yeah. I think we're all very right in him being one of the faces, because this is where the championships, between the 4 of them, they all have to be scraping it out for them championships.
Yeah.
Those MVPs, and that's where MVPs as well, and that's where it really goes to. So I think, a bit of maths is broken down on this point, but I think he's right.
Yeah.
He could be one of the faces.
Like,
really.
when it comes to faces of the league with the younger, 100%. I'll say, like I say, Luka and Shea, Tatum as faces as well, 100%. Because obviously, in terms of the next group after, But in terms of, but like you said, you brought up a very important point about the marketing. Is very important, because if we look at, let's say, Luka now, it's okay, kind of this young European kid who's come and taken the league by storm. Mm-hmm. Kind of does funny things and how he is. Like, you can use that. And then when it comes to Ant, his personality, his characteristics, all these things, you can market how he is. And obviously he's got jokes, he's funny and everything as well. You can market that as well to the rest of the world, all ages. And then you look at Shea as well. He's kind of like the model fashion kind of guy in NBA, and obviously send shots and everything. Like, so if you see with all these 3 guys, they've got something about them where it's like, if any of them was to be face of the league, you can really use that. Mm-hmm. And they're not really in much, like Luke, obviously, in terms of like situations. 2
of them are in small markets, to be honest.
What I'm saying. And it's like, it's there. But then when you look at Tatum, it's like, okay, cool. There's Deuce, but it's like, you're not really gonna.
Said Deuce, what his son is the reason he went.
No, in terms of marketing, like, okay, you're not really gonna just do
the benefit that Tatum has over all them is that he's in the biggest market by far. Like you can't compare Boston's market to Minnesota or to OKC. It's not a question.
Yeah, but his stuff is like, when he was kind of trying to, then he started doing the Kobe thing, and everyone's like, yo, bro, do you, bro?
No.
Like, doing all that stuff was like, yo.
Do you know where I think he could be bigger than those guys? The shoe game. I think his signature shoe line has the potential to be like the next. I don't want to say like the next line of Kyrie's, but you know how like all the kids were wearing Kyrie's at one point.
Yeah.
I just looking at them, they're aesthetically, but like Luka's are pretty ugly. Shea's wearing Converse, and I don't even know if he has a signature shoe yet. Ant is the other guy I think who's going to be one of the bigger names in the signature shoe game as well. But like, I think Tatum being on Jordan, like he's definitely the face of Jordan now as well, because Zion fell off a cliff. Like no one's really checking for Zion like that in the Pelicans right now. I think until he can really play more consistently as well, I don't think they're gonna be looking at him. Tatum's really carrying that brand. Because who else is on Jordan brand that has a signature line? It's Luka, Tatum, and Zion, right? Shout out to Jordan, by the way, because like I'm shocked you even got those three, to be honest, but you did. Yeah. But Tatum's shoe is, in my opinion, one of the better looking ones in the league right now. A lot of shoes are starting to look like each other as well, and I think his actually have like right now anyway, a significant difference. If he can be that guy that is, you know how like Kobe's always did well in like in terms of like having kids buy them, but LeBron's never did as well because they were a bit more chunky and stuff like that. I think if Tatum could win that battle there, that's like 40% of his marketing done. Right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it makes a massive difference. Like small things like that off court. Like you might not necessarily be the most vocal out there, but if your shoes out here, look at LaMelo Ball for instance, yeah, bro. Like no one's really watching Charlotte play, but because his shoes be selling. And they look exactly the same every single year. He's on the third shoe, by the way. They look exactly the same. Because his shoes are selling, his marketability is just up here. Tatum's ones? How much are they?
Well, you can get kids at $67.99 and then adults at $109.99.
But then, like, LeBron was out here selling shoes for $180. I remember, being 15 years old, yeah. Do you remember House of Hoops in Central, yeah? I remember being 15 years old. Shout out to my older brother, yeah, in House of Hoops, yeah. It was my birthday. And I was out here running around with some beaters on my feet when I was playing ball. And to the point where, like, my foot was starting to come through it. Like, I couldn't jump comfortably without, like, my toes be hitting the ground. So he was like, no, we're gonna get you a pair of Crips. And I was looking at that. I saw KD's. I saw LeBron's, obviously. I saw Kobe's. And I was like, you know what? I want the LeBron's. My brother, this would have been in 13 years ago. What year would that have been? 2011. He spent £150 of his student finance to get me a pair of LeBron's, bro. And back then, that was a crazy amount of money. I couldn't believe he did that in the first place. Those shoes were so cold. LeBron 7s, the post-season ones as well. Special edition on that. Amazing shoe. But because of that, LeBron has always been like, I don't think LeBron will ever do Michael Jordan numbers because his shoes are way expensive. Jordans have always been expensive, don't get me wrong, but he also had the benefit of being streetwear shoes. You can't be. I remember seeing brothers start wearing LeBrons outside, and I was like, "You're looking nuts, man."
LeBron with jeans,
jeans, Levi's jeans.
LeBron with jeans.
Oh my god!
With fitted jeans, boot cut jeans, flared jeans. What?
Crazy. There's no jeans. Can you imagine brothers wearing them with skinny jeans as well? The shoes are so chunky as well. Nah, impossible. But my point is that Tatum's out here putting out like a good product with his name on it, and I think that will help him a lot in this case. I'm not saying it will be the deciding factor, but it will give him more points in places where he's kind of falling short compared to the other guys.
Well, moving on from this, obviously, let us know who do you think obviously your faces of the league going to be out of those guys. Well, we're going to touch on one last thing. And obviously, we all done our prediction of this, but we're going to get into our final standing predictions.
Yes, sir.
So, how do you guys want to do this? So, are we going East first team at a time, West first team at a time, or just going straight through the list? We can go anyway.
Straight list.
Straight list?
Yeah.
One conference.
Okay, cool.
George, you want to start?
Yeah. Does it have to be in order?
Of
That's the main thing. No, I did it in order. Just making sure you got it in correct order.
And you done 1 to 10, not 1 to 8, yeah?
1 to 10.
I should say, how barbaric it would have been if you just said, no, I haven't done it. What's the point of doing it then?
He's been working very hard, he's been working very hard.
So, this, obviously, Boston number 1. I don't know why, but I still somehow believe Milwaukee will come second.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, they will. I think Cleveland will take number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think New York will take the 4th seed.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana will take the 5th seed. I think Philly will drop to 6 because of Embiid.
Okay.
I think Miami will edge it over Orlando. So Miami 7, Orlando 8, Chicago 9, and the Hawks 10. But the Chicago and the Hawks, mainly the Hawks, are really bad.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna because your list is very similar to mine. 1 through 5 is exactly the same. I've got Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, New York, Indiana. I have the Heat at 6.
Philly was up that low.
Because they haven't got Embiid. And if you look at the standings right now, it's so close, yeah? If you lose 3 games in a row, you're dropping that far down the standings as well. Miami have Jimmy Butler coming back. I still think they're an arse team, innit? Me personally. However, I think all it takes for them is just to build the continuity. They're going to grind out the games to the point where they're probably winning by 2 or 3 every night. A few games under 100 points, and I think they'll be able to do it. Philly, then at 7. Orlando at 8. I know you only put Chicago in there because of your brother. Because there's no way you watch Chicago play and say, yeah, that team's making the play-in. I've got Atlanta at 9 and Toronto at 10.
Wow.
Toronto at 10. I have zero belief in Chicago's ability to win games anymore. And the only reason I feel that way is because you didn't even commit to a rebuild.
It's the most embarrassing thing. My brother's been moaning. He wants to come on, actually. He's been very, very upset.
Bring him true.
He's been very upset.
Rodney, let's go.
So with mine, I've got Celtics at number 1. Number 2, I put Cavaliers.
Okay, that's fair.
I think, they're just gonna keep going on the roll, and they'll do all right. I've got the Bucks at 3. 4th, I've got the Knicks.
Okay.
5, I've got the Sixers. I think they'll still pull some wins together, just to hang on until Embiid gets back. Pacers at 6, and I've got Miami at 7, Magic at 8, the Hawks at 9, and the Bulls at 10.
Where did you have Philly?
Philly at 5.
5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
at 5.
Not too dissimilar. I think the tops are pretty, like the top 3 are pretty much the same. The bottom 3 are similar with a slight variation.
Yeah, you got Knicks, Pacers, Heat.
Yeah.
And I think only you've got the Raptors in.
Do you know why I have them? Because I really think they started badly because their roster just didn't make sense. Having OG and Pascal there when they didn't really want to be there anymore as well is making a big difference. I think them bringing in RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, I think they're going to have something to bring. Quickly's going to be playing for a contract as well, by the way. So I think you're going to see a different side to him in the second half of the season now that they've had a bit of rest. Just quick sidebar, nothing to do with any of this. Scotty Barnes is a weird guy, you know.
Listen, he's not beating allegations. He is not beating the flipping allegations.
Scotty Barnes is a weird guy. Did you see him fall over in the skills?
Yes.
The skills competition?
Yes, I did.
But like he's falling over like it's
Like he's a cartoon.
like it's Charlie Chaplin. Like it looks like slapstick comedy. I don't know what I'm seeing here. Sorry, just talking about the Raptors reminded me of how weird that guy is, bro.
Wait.
It was his first All-Star appearance, so just let him.
There's Paolo's too, but Paolo weren't doing all of that.
Scotty Barnes has been like, I don't know if it's since he come into the NBA or before, but he's just
Yeah, he's a weird one
I
still.
think people are saying he might be.
maybe
Beep that.
Oh.
Beep that. What's the time?
Okay, cool. All right. I didn't know that was mad to say. That was mad to say.
In the West.
I didn't even hear.
In the West, I have Minnesota at number 1.
Okay. All right.
My Clippers at number 2.
Okay.
The Thunder at 3. Denver at 4. Dallas at 5.
Okay.
Phoenix at 6. The Pelicans at 7. The Kings at 8. The Lakers at 9. And the Warriors at 10.
That's absolutely crazy.
Why is it crazy? Because you're a Lakers fan?
No, because you have the exact same bar like we've literally the exact same. I mean, we've swapped 2.
Which two?
So OKC, Minnesota, Clippers, Nuggets.
OKC, Minnesota. You have OKC at 1. Oh, okay. So you just moved OKC to the number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So it's very minor. So I've got OKC at 1, Minnesota at 2, Clippers at 3, Nuggets at 4, Mavs at 5,
Yep.
Pelicans at 6.
Okay. Pelicans,
Suns at 7.
Yep.
So you swap those. Kings at 8, Lakers at 9, Warriors at 10.
Yeah, it's
So
not going to be too
very-
dissimilar.
yeah.
So I also got the Thunder at 1.
Wow. Okay.
I've got Timberwolves at 2, Clippers at 3. I've got the Nuggets 4th. I've got the Suns finishing 5. Mavericks at 6. Pelicans at 7.
It's crazy.
Lakers at 8. Kings at 9. Warriors at 10.
That means unanimously we think this is the 10.
Warriors.
As in, like,
Yeah, no.
This is
I
It's
just
looking
struggle to
real bad
believe.
for them. Like, I think the way the season is going, like, okay, it's just one of the ones where Clay is now accepting the fact that he's going to get reduced the role. He might permanently become to the bench, whether he does or not, I'm not too sure. But I think there was just survive and stay kind of where they are, and the team just kind of fight that place in it.
To be fair, I think they're 7-3 in their last 10 though.
Who?
Yeah,
The Warriors.
They're 7-3 in the
Yeah,
last 10, so it's-
they're playing better in it, but they're still three. I mean, the Lakers have played 3 more games, but like they still have quite a bit of ground to make up. And the main problem that they have, that I think they'll continue to have, is that they do not have an answer for any team that has a legit center.
yeah.
Like any answer for it,
And Draymond can only get so many technical fouls and suspensions.
bro.
But yeah,
Threaten to stab people and whatnot.
but even that with the Kings, they don't look the same as last year where they was really flying. Like, you know, it's like when you saw the Kings, you didn't really want to face in the first round because you know it's going to be long. But if it happens, it happens. Right now, it's kind of just a wave, so I'm not sure what's going on. But on a low key, even though I said it, but I think also there's a chance that the Pelicans might hit a little stint as well, and then the Lakers could overtake them for the 7, possibly. Obviously, the Pelicans are playing good basketball, 7-3 in the last 10 as well. But we'll see. Obviously, Brandon goes down. All it takes is for, I don't know, Zion's just like he's doing right. Like you said, Brandon and Zion, they're not really.
The saddest reality, sorry to cut you off, yeah, but we had a whole Tatum segment, and the fact none of us mentioned Zion in that, like, next
No,
up.
man, no.
And-
Because he's finished.
But that's because coming into the league outside of Wemby,
That's how everyone was looking at him.
yeah, he was meant to
The
be.
most hyped, bro.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the fact that he's not even in any of our conversations, and we didn't even think about it as an afterthought until you mentioned his name. And that's even more worse than anything. That's a bigger test.
I very consciously excluded him because of that, though. Like I said, like he's missed a ton of time. This is the most basketball we've seen him play in ages, and that team just don't work as well. like you cannot be the face of the league, and your team aren't like one of the top 3 teams, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very tough. Like they still got roster moves that they need to make, but at the same time, like also like he had a crazy off season.
Yeah, like
Crazy off season,
his
bro.
market now is Luke.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's.
I feel like there has to be an element of mystery, either an element of mystery or certainty in your like off-court shenanigans, innit? Like the fact that all these stories are coming out about him, because it started off with him getting a woman pregnant, remember? To him now be dealing with SWs, to now her coming out here and saying, oh yeah, Zion likes to do this, he's fat because he's drinking all this soda, like, bro, it ruined his market. Also, like, people weren't really sure what Zion we were going to get at the start of the season. I think that's going to be a continual thing until he does like 3 straight years of starting camp in shape and playing like 60 games a season, 70 games a season. Everyone's going to feel the same way about him, man. The other guys we spoke about, they're all available. They're all available.
All available, all consistent. They're there. Like it's like with Zion, he just kind of crept into the shadows. It's like I don't know if he's accepted. Like okay, he's just kind of he's on cruise control right now, isn't it? Like that's what he is. And maybe this is the season where he's kind of obviously just making his way back.
Yeah,
to that case.
Yeah,
but we don't know yet. We need to see him because we still want to see him at his full potential in like his ultimate super shape. Being very dominant, being available. Like just this is what we want to see, but we haven't seen it, and it's like we just don't know. And if we don't know from
100%.
season to season about this guy, there's no way he can be face of the league.
This season is also like one of his worst statistical season he's had since he's been in the
I'm
league.
just gonna say
He's having a career low in points at 22.4, second lowest in field goal at 58.5. Crazy,
That's
like,
not too bad at 58.5.
but he doesn't shoot.
But yeah,
He only dunks and lays up the ball. 5.5 rebounds, which is like, I'm sorry, bro. When you came in, everyone's like, yeah, this guy's gonna be killing the boards. 9-10 boards a night. 4.8 assists, which is a bit higher. But
even his 3-point percentage is lowest.
bro, like, yeah, he's just not playing now. He's only playing 30 minutes a game as well. Like, he's played 44 games so far this season, and I don't know. I just find it so difficult to watch him play sometimes because it's not cute. Like, I'm not saying, but there's no like necessarily bag to it. You know what I mean? He's just playing super aggressively.
Yeah, but as I said in one of the previous pods, I think he's lost his. There was an element of a fear factor around him that, like, he kind of came into the league and
Yeah.
was like Zion,
Yeah.
That's completely gone. In my opinion, he's just
that's what happens when all the shenanigans come out.
yeah,
Man.
like it's just everything's gone with it.
Again, this is his comeback season, so maybe next year he'll be a bit better. But I need to see evidence that you've actually been working on your game as well. I understand you've been injured for a long time, but like in terms of skill, I haven't seen any improvement in his game since his rookie year.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's been a slip off, and this is what happens, man. So
Yeah, can we do the last two very very quickly? Maybe just
just the first.
no, the second one, if we can.
Yeah, okay.
Just I found it interesting.
real quick. Yeah, we can go through.
Jalen Brunson had an interview, I believe, on was he on All the Smoke or something else? He had a video interview anyway, and they were asking about like the situation in Dallas and how he left Dallas, and apparently he asked them for a 4-year, $55 million extension twice, to which the team said no both times.
Oh,
So I had speculation that Luka was running these brothers out, which I'm still going to stand by. I'm still going to stand by because agenda if he run, you know, agenda if he run. But at the same time, that's awful from the organization of the Dallas Mavericks.
55 million. That's decent.
So when he would have asked for that, would have had to be the year before he left. It would have had to be the year before he left, or maybe even just before that. Even, but either way, like you're out here, like I've said before, Dallas were paying too many guys who were very, very average, and they're paying them a lot more than what this brother's asking for.
100%.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is one of the reasons as well. He was paying them way too much. Him, Dorian Finney-Smith,
Bro,
Reggie Bullock.
Yeah, you said you're right. It was the 2021-22 season.
yeah.
Yeah.
So season 2 seasons ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it would have been So bear in mind that averages out to be what, like 14 million a year, which is way less than they're paying Tim Hardaway Jr. Way less. I just think a lot of mismanagement has gone on in Dallas, and maybe that's why Mark Cuban decided to step away, because maybe he was, you know, I think he got too horny about Luka, saying, "Oh, this is the next Dirk. I need to do X, Y, Z around him," and yeah, you just ended up overpaying role players, and it turned out that way. And now Jalen Brunson out here making all-star teams, leading the Knicks to one of the best records in the league as well, being super competitive. The maddest thing as well, the Knicks are more likely to win a championship than Dallas, in my opinion.
The thing is, the only reason that I would love to disagree, I'd love to disagree with you, but I can't. Yeah. I can't, because I feel like the obstacles the Mavs have to go through in the West.
Fun that, bro.
I don't also believe. I feel like the Knicks have a clearer path and probably have a stronger team, able to get to like the destined line.
Let me ask you, in the 7-game series, are you saying that Dallas will beat New York?
If
it'll be a very, very good series.
I think if Kyrie and Luka ball out, they'll win. But it's if them two, is like the Knicks have the better roster.
I don't think it's even about them balling out. I really don't think it's about them balling out, because
them stopping the ball.
100%. I think
boards as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's why I think
the
Knicks would do everything else.
Player now that's kind of taken on that role where, first of all, he's not a narc like flipping, what's his name, Powell. I feel like he's better on defense. Offense, he's just mainly catching lobs. There's no real bag there. But it's just with the Knicks, there's so much, man. There's a lot. Like even having Anunoby there as well. A top.
They've got defenders. They've got depth.
Defenders, they've got scorers, playmaking. The team is more organized. Whereas with Mavs, it's like, okay, Luka, Kyrie, what are we gonna do from there?
Also, they can't. The Dallas cannot defend at the guard position. Like they can't. Neither of them two are stopping Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, because even though like I've seen Kyrie try on actual defense,
nah, he's not going to be able to do it.
I'm saying even though I've seen him try, but Jalen Brunson is way too tough. And then it's like, even with the players that he's kind of scored against as well, with the high advantage and everything, it's like, and he's strong as well, man. So I think, it's long, because if it's like Luka, bro, that's tough. Even if it's in the post, but then so. Nah, but
crazy.
I was thinking, okay, I'm trying to disagree, but it's like with the Knicks and the pathway they have, like I think the Knicks are capable of. But I think barring, let's say, right. Anyway, if this was the situation now, even in general, barring the Celtics and whatever box that is given, I think they can take out anyone else. Like, I think the Sixers will still be a hard matchup, 100%, if obviously everyone healthy and everything. But I think once they get over that hump, if they just stick in terms of series with the Bucks or the Celtics, they can win. So
Both teams have a very similar record as well. Very, very similar record. I think the Knicks have one more win than Dallas do. But yeah, just a quick question out there anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notification. Follow us on socials at Take It To The Pod on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Take It To The Rim Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure you share the gems here. Comment below as well what you think about Doc Rivers and JJ and Dame and the Bucks, and what are your final standings as well. What are your predictions? So, yeah, just interact with us. Lock in with us. I've been Rods. He's been LA Juls. He's been Clipper Cam. As LA Juls loves to say and take us out.
Over and out, baby.
We out.